Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
It's my mom in the background. You can't see her yet. We will in a minute. Welcome to a special live stream. My name is John. Skippy Landfill. Hands together, head bowed. Welcome. We are going to have some fun today, as we always do. So check this out. My mom and dad are here. Can you believe it? Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
Howdy.
Hi.
They're
Hi,
here
everybody.
to join me because it's a Mother's Day live stream. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. And I thought nothing more perfect than having my parents on, since I am blessed to have both of them running around and causing all sorts of ruckus in Eastern Oregon. We got to check in with them, see what's going on. Maybe this will be like a Howard Stern thing. We will just do this every now and then, you know, and check in with the parents type of thing. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing well. Oh, somebody's saying thank you for the AAS Chromaphone 3, which has been unified. You guys are welcome. I don't think I have a link in the... Oh, let me go over here and get you guys a link. I'll put it into the description real quick. I don't know if my mom and dad know how this works, but there's just a whole stream of chatting going on YouTube. In fact, on your iPad, Mom, if you click that YouTube link, you'd be able to see what's going on. It's fun and crazy. So there's all sorts of stuff talking about all sorts of things. And oh, it's good stuff. So here, let me copy the link and I'll put it into the chat and I'm going to put it into the video description as well. We have included AAS, which is Applied Acoustic Systems. They are a wonderful company that actually lives not far away from Shane. Acoustic Systems, I can't spell, T-E-M-S, Chromophone, R-O-3, Unified. And there's the link in the video description as well. That is library/plugin number 31. Can you believe it? We are up to 31 plugins unified into the Unify format. So that is really exciting. Okay, so we will get back to talking about that. I want to show you guys, there's a new modular synth from Chromaphone, from Applied Acoustic Solutions called CV1. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. And there's also an amazing bundle to get marimba and vibes for Contact. There's 3 days left on this sale for $29. And I'll show that to you guys too. So there's all sorts of stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Anyhow, we are going to talk to my mom and dad first. So my mom is Wanda and my dad is John. I'm number 4 or 5.
5.
I'm the 5th. I'm the 5th John Limkle in the family. So I never can remember if I'm 4th or 5th. It's really, really funny. But how are you guys doing? How is Boise?
We're good.
How's Idaho today?
Warm.
Warm.
Beautiful.
Yes, it does get warm out there.
Sunshine.
Yes, we love that. Well, the reason to have my mom and dad on is just to talk a little bit about the past, which led to where I am today, and also just to encourage you guys. My mom still you still teach how many students?
About 20.
About 20 students every week.
Every week.
Every week. It's really inspiring. Just a little background. When I was a little kid, first they worked at music stores, and then what year was it that you guys moved to Ontario?
Froze up.
Yeah, I see the
Yeah,
freeze.
we lost you
On
our connect.
Yeah, your frozen picture too. So hopefully that comes back.
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
1975, John.
1975. 1975, we moved from Boise to Ontario, Oregon, and they started a music store called Trendsetters.
No, Frontier Music.
Oh,
remember?
Frontier Music was first, right?
Yeah, Frontier Music.
That's
Right. And that was a combination of sales and education. I started with Yamaha Music School when I was 4. Did you teach that? Were you a teacher then?
Yes. Yes. I was a teacher then.
Yeah.
And that's why we moved from Boise to Ontario, was to open a Yamaha music school. But you went to Yamaha earlier too.
Right. Yeah. It's a great.
And then as time progressed, you became, we got into organs, Yamaha organs, and we had Yamaha Electron festivals. And yeah.
It was through that festival where most of the advancement took place.
Right. Yeah. The festivals were a big part of growing up. Yamaha had a series of organs that were not a Hammond. They were more electronic with brass and strings and cosmic and all sorts of cool sounds in them. And my mom taught lessons and would you taught me at the time, right? I was still letting you teach me.
Yes.
Very, very.
It had several teachers trying to teach you.
Yes. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some good stories from some of those teachers, I remember. His hand position's not right. Stuff like that.
But when is he going to start reading the notes and not using his ear?
I know, right?
We always heard.
Yeah. Well, that's part of
If the
Yamaha
teacher
Music School.
played
Sorry, Mom. What?
If the teacher played it once, you knew it. And you never even had to look at the book.
Right.
And that was frustrating to them, but exciting for you because you really didn't have to practice.
Right.
You knew
Right.
the song in your head already.
Yeah, I was very fast at picking stuff up, it seems. So and then explain to them the Electron Festival. What was it that was so interesting about that?
There would be a local, and we usually had 5 judges who were professional school teachers or musicians or whatever.
Yeah.
And we had 3 or 4 divisions. And you started as a little kid performing. You were probably about 9 years old the first time you performed.
Yeah.
And you happened to win. And then we went to regionals, which were in California somewhere. We've been to Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Right.
And we had several kids from that festival who have become professional musicians.
Yes.
One is yourself. The other would be
Philip Kevin.
Philip Kevin.
Philip
He's
Kevin.
an author, composer, director in Nashville now.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
And
then
Sean
we
Rogers.
had him go all the way to Japan.
Yes, he went to the internationals.
In the world.
He won in the world. Yeah, the international.
One thing about the Yamaha that was different than anything else is you were given a theme of what was it?
Four measures to
Mhm.
write a song
And you
Right.
had
on the
10
spot.
minutes to write that song and then perform it live. And that
It's
is
just 10
something
minutes,
that's
right?
not heard of. You had 10 minutes to write it with a 4-measure theme.
Yeah. And they have 3 themes, so you could choose one of the 3. So it's
Mhm.
like,
Yes.
Maria has chosen theme B. And so you'd have this chart to the right that everybody could see that showed the theme. And somewhere in that 10 minutes, you just had to play that theme. So some people
the
came with like a
beginning, you had to
prepared
play it.
song that they would like sneak the theme into. Other people would actually truly write a complete song on the spot.
A song, yeah. I think a lot of people already memorized their B section in several keys. So if
Right.
they could play those first 4 measures and get it accurate, they had to count it and be sure they were doing the right rhythm and the right
Right.
notes.
Right.
And everybody would just really be so relieved when they got through that first 4 measures with harmony and everything, and then moved on into whatever they could develop.
Yeah. Yeah. It was,
But that's really where you learned a lot about music composition and how to
yeah, it's
put
true.
parts together.
And
followed
also
you
the
along.
preparation for the actual piece that you would perform, you would rehearse and work on that for months. So
Oh yeah.
it also lend itself really well to, doing demo songs when I'm showing off a new library, you really want to like, bam, show something really cool and
Yeah.
get people all, fired up with the library. I learned a lot of those skills from working on, Children of Sanchez and my Easter Island
Mhm.
song I wrote one year, all those
Mhm.
really fun experiences. Yeah. But I just want to encourage everybody that's
You're right.
watching, when I listen to today's music, the one thing missing so much, I think everybody's spending so much time with technology, and it's great to spend time and learn technology, but you can't forget about music. You can't forget about actual learning and
basics.
continuing to feed your mind, right?
The basics.
The basics. And
Yeah.
if you know the basics, don't stop there. Learn more. But so many people don't rely that much on their playing other than basic chords. A lot of people rely on what we now call MIDI packs, where they drag over a MIDI file that somebody else sequenced. And then they use that to write a song. And it's okay to use those, but then you need to learn the skills so that you can analyze it and go, what key is this in? What chords can I use? You know, all sorts of
What's the instrument and what instrumentation would make it fill and be unique?
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. All those things are really important things to spend time on. And no matter where you are, you could have sat and talked to Chick Corea and he would still say, oh, I still need to learn. The more you learn, the less you actually realize that you know. There's so much more to learn, right?
That's true.
Yeah, it never ends. I mean, you know, I watch videos from Jacob Collier and others that inspire me, and I just go, I have no idea what. That is a whole different planet of thought process there for me to learn about. So I myself have much to learn.
So your very first lesson, John, I want to tell you about it.
Okay.
I was trying to teach you to do C, D, E, C, D, E. And you put your hands right where they're supposed to be while you listened and tried. And then you said, but I want to do it like the birds fly. And so you were all over the piano. I want to do it like the birds fly. That was you.
There's the birds.
There's the birds.
Yeah, no, I remember that I drove a lot of piano teachers crazy because they would try to have me learn a Bach piece or something, and I would come back with my own version of a Bach piece or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
no, what's going on? He needs to play what's on the page. It was never my forte.
Mm-hmm. And then all those nights you stayed down at the studio as a teenager.
Yes.
At the store. And instead of being out driving your car up and down the main street like every other kid, you had your musical buddies out there and your Moog.
Yep.
And the DX7 and the DX25 when they first came out.
Yep. Hey, tell the story about Leon and me going to Portland.
That was the introduction of the DX7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you guys decide to send him and me? That was so cool. I really appreciate that you did that. That was so important to where I am today. But did you get an invite from Yamaha that said come, or how did that happen?
It was a sales training for the introduction of the Yamaha DX7.
Yeah.
And they sent out an invite to the dealers for a hands-on training for this region, and they did it in different regions. And so we sent you and Leon Gravitt, who was our piano teacher at the time.
Technician. He was a technician tuner.
Yeah.
He was a technician.
Yeah.
And he was there for the training.
Right. So the piano tuner learned about FM synthesis as well as me.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting.
It was very interesting. And that was like a 2 or 3 day event that it really, I mean, they really wanted to make sure that you understood the unique side of FM synthesis and how it was different than analog subtractive synthesis, so forth. And so they really took the time, and it really helped me with all sorts of concepts in synthesis to where I am now. So thank you for sending me. It was amazing.
It's amazing how things develop from a little point, and then from faith and everything else, you go from there to the next step, and that develops into another one, just like the branch on a tree.
Yeah. You can speak now. My dad. Now, so let's take a step back. So the music store lasted until when did it close?
2004, May 28, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So it was there for a good 30 years plus, teaching all sorts of students. There was one time where Yamaha Music School had like over how many students a week?
We had 300 at one time coming in for lessons. And we had 4 teachers in 4 different rooms. And we had 10 instruments in each room,
It's amazing.
and they would all be going at one time. So it was a pretty massive deal for a town of
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, it's a small town.
That's the highest percentage.
Mhm.
That's probably the highest percentage in the nation of population that were actually in
It's
the
the education.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was such a great thing that you guys provided. At that time,
And then
I was a piano delivery person. Me and a gentleman named
In a
Andy used to
two-story
deliver all the
building.
pianos Mom sold. So we would be going to someplace in Payette and putting boards on the grass and dirt and mud to help wheel in a piano to the house of someone. And,
Oh, yeah. Good old days.
the good old days. We even had like a forklift thing to get up to the upstairs to get instruments down from upstairs. I remember in the back of the store. Just amazing stuff. So
it
the
was a
store
funny time.
closed.
It was great.
It was I mean, so many great memories. And unfortunately, the store closed. Times got tough, and you guys moved to different locations and so forth. But it opened up new chapters, right?
It
Mhm.
did.
I mean,
It
let me have my dad explain. He took off. You're talking about from starting at one point and going somewhere else. He has. It's rather prolific. Just explain what you've done since the store closed. In a nutshell.
Well,
In a nutshell.
nutshell. When we had the store, we also had audio alongside with the music instruments. That was a part of it, with the being able to provide a PA system for schools and churches and so on. And I
Right.
developed that into that. Then I was able to make contact with an individual that was doing the digital installation for the courtrooms.
Right.
And that threw a different challenge at us. And it began back in the early 2000s, and digital audio was just coming into play.
Right.
And I had attempted to use several different ones, but they did not meet the full need that I had. And I fell into relationship with Buy Amp. And from there, it gave me an open platform like your music. It's just a box. There are no pre-configured formats to follow. You put in the different processors you need within that. So I have worked everywhere from Fairbanks, Alaska to Southern California to mid-Wyoming. And
Yeah.
I helped them over in Japan. Then it opened up that door. And since then, this past year, we were contracted to do a complete audio video upgrade for the Idaho State Capitol. And that was placed into operation in January, and they're still in session, and they should be out later this coming week. But that involves audio being able to trigger the video cameras in the hearing room so that when you talk, the camera follows to you. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And the courtroom. So we're still doing a lot in courtrooms, schools, and the governmental.
Yeah.
Building.
So just to summarize, the court systems have changed to being hard disk recorded, right? They're recording the testimony so that they can actually play back for the jury instead of reading. Like
That's
used to.
correct.
So you go into
Well,
these court buildings and they're
and-
all out of date, right?
It depends on the state as to what the requirements are. But through my work in the development of that Buy Amp system, it is in every courtroom in Idaho. And the reason for that is we can process the audio independently for the room and still send audio to the recording on the computer.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Plus, they can do the jails
oh yeah,
with,
they do
they
video.
don't have to come to the court anymore. They just
They
Right.
do the
send it
video
from the
conferencing.
jail.
Right. Remote location,
Mhm.
piping them in to be a part of the hearings and so forth. Yeah, it's fascinating. And
Yeah, but that was a big deal for the Idaho State to do the state capitol.
yes, that was
And it's just me.
just
It
you.
was just me, and I have one other guy that works with me.
It's fascinating.
And it was approaching $1 million project.
And I believe you're like the number 1 or 2 Buy Amp distributor in the Northwest.
I was for many, many quarters, but there
Yeah.
are some that are doing it, like for Microsoft and
Oh,
all
right.
those big corporations that are doing it, that are far exceeding anything I could ever do. But as a private individual, a sole
Yeah.
source individual.
A private
I don't know if
individual with a
anybody
store out of
else-
your garage.
Really,
Exactly.
with an office in the bedroom.
Yeah, office in the bedroom.
It worked.
Yeah,
It worked.
it worked. And Mom, you just had a recital with students, right?
I had them enter a festival
Yeah.
where they all played songs. And out of all the kids I entered, they all got superior mark this year, which was pretty exciting because they had to memorize a classical piece
Yes.
written by an American composer or a jazz piece. And then they had to play the second piece was for someone from Europe of the early composers, Bach,
Right.
although Brahms, whatever,
Right.
Rachmaninoff. So then I had a boy who's a senior this year in high school. I've had him since he was in first grade, I think. And his name's Alex Aguilar. And he entered a contest locally and walked away with $150 for the first prize, performing Prelude in C minor by Rachmaninoff.
Oh, wonderful. I
yeah,
love it.
they've done well.
Yeah.
Done well.
Well,
Another one of the students that exceeded quite a bit was Sean Rogers.
Right.
So he's a professional musician in the Boise area and he travels a lot and performs too.
Yeah, he's a
So
great
several of you out of Yamaha Music came out doing really well. Dana
Yeah.
just walked in, our daughter. She's
Yeah.
teaching this afternoon in the studio.
Yeah. No, it's
So if
It's-
you hear music in the background, that'll be her.
yeah, right. Well, awesome. Well, it's just fun to share that, you guys are still involved in music and still involved in helping the community. And I'm proud of both of you and love you both very much. And happy Mother's Day, Mom.
You're welcome. Hey, thank you.
It's nice to
Appreciate
get to
it.
say happy Mother's Day to you in person like this. So very special.
Yeah.
And
And
it's fun
everybody,
to
I
be
think,
part of
is
your
saying
show.
happy Mother's Day in the chat too, which is very nice. So where did your mom get inspired to learn the piano, Mom?
How did I?
Yeah.
Came home from school one day in the first grade and a piano was sitting in the front room of my parents' home that hadn't been there before. It was a nice Jansen spinet. And my mom started me on music lessons at 6. And I was kind of like you, whenever they played the song, I knew it. I could just go
Oh.
home and do it, which was kind of fun. And then the other thing was I listened to the radio as a kid. And my first song by ear was a Tennessee Waltz.
Mm.
If you remember that tune, probably not, because that's way before your time. But I heard it on the radio and I went in and played it on the piano and my mom about had a heart attack. She thought, really, I'm going to tell the teacher not to let you play by ear,
Oh,
which she tried. But our family was kind of musical when I think back over it. And my dad tried to play the baritone
mm.
horn, and my mom tried to play the accordion, and they all came to Yamaha music classes. And at one point, my dad said, after about 4 lessons, I thought this was supposed to be fun. That was his last lesson.
Yeah.
So yeah, music has been a part of my life. My mom had me in every contest that ever came along. I won savings bonds as a kid and I won cash and just the honor of getting to play for all different things, played for weddings, played for funerals.
Right.
And in junior high, she started an accordion band and had an accordion band that she directed and they played all over the valley.
Oh,
I had 15 kids in that band. We
As
would-
a junior higher.
when I was in junior high. I taught all the way through high school. So music has just been my life, really.
yeah.
Pretty much everything I've ever done. And I played for choirs and traveled. When we went off to college,
Yeah.
that's how I met Dad. We were in a choir that Dana must have let her dog in. Can you hear him bark? Oh, that's our dogs. Oh dear. Yeah. Anyhow, we traveled with a choir and I played as an accompanist for that. And
Yes.
John and I both played in the college's orchestra. So yeah, we go back a long ways with
And I
music.
have
It's
fond
our-
memories of watching you guys as a team where Mom, you'd play the organ for customers that were there. And Dad, you would push all the buttons and stuff, change the sounds while Mom was playing.
He still would if I let him.
Oh, that's so
Well,
funny.
I had a kind of a gift. I could look at an organ and I can tell you what it can do or can't do just by the way it's arranged and what the
Right.
words are as to what it is. So if it said tuba, I knew what it was going to do. And if it said trumpet or violin or the different stages on your, like on your Hammond with all your drawbars, each one
Right.
of those is a harmonic, and that all just made sense.
Right.
And I was able to utilize that to help in sales.
Yeah.
So
You
when
guys were
we'd
a
get a
team.
new organ in, or a keyboard, Dad would figure it all out
Ah,
because he could
right.
easily. I would
Right.
have to read the manual and get it all organized and then figure it out.
Right.
And then he would just show me how to do it. And we were a team. Away we went.
Well, it worked out really well. Lots of people got different electronic and acoustic pianos for many years. It was fun. Great stuff. Someone asked if we've ever played together. Mom,
It helped them the whole.
yeah, we got to
it
talk about
helped them
helping
the
to
whole
hope from it.
concert.
Yeah. So explain real quickly what helped them to hope and how long you've been doing that.
I did it for 30 years. I sponsored it each year. And, or was it 20? Might have been 20 years. It seemed like 30.
Yeah.
20 years. And it was a fundraiser for our area.
For the
People
needy.
contributed food and brought in cans, and they brought in cash. Yeah. We raised probably $100,000 over those 20 years,
Oh, easily.
at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
And
For the local
out the
homeless,
auditorium.
homeless and people that were just in need of things for
People
Christmas.
are in need, right?
Yeah. Not necessarily homeless back then. It was more just needy families, and they would
Right.
deliver a Christmas box.
Right.
And they
Kids
had
getting
funds that
bicycles and all sorts of fun things. So
And you finally got involved after about
yeah.
me
15
calling you
years.
many years.
I think I
And you
wasn't
showed
there
up
for
and
like
we
the
played
early
together.
ones. Didn't I do one of the first ones?
Probably.
And then took
Yeah, you did.
I got busy and wasn't able to for a long time. And then for the last 5 or 6 years, I've come back home and I'd remix Christmas tunes. Some of them are on the YouTube channel that I've shown played and stuff like that. The last couple of years we haven't been able to because of COVID, but hopefully maybe we'll see what happens later this year. Would you ever want to do that anymore? Or are you done?
I'd do it again if there was interest and people were available.
And could help.
And we would just use local talent. We had dancers, we had vocalists, we
Yes.
had bands, we had
Yeah, the local jazz
whoever
band,
had a
yeah.
talent of some sort that wanted to share.
It was fun. It was quite the show.
Yeah.
A 2-hour show.
Yeah.
It was
With no break.
really always top-notch entertainment for a local performance. I mean, the talent in the Treasure Valley where they are is actually really pretty impressive. The
It's
jazz
pretty
bands
good.
are like
Mhm.
crazy good.
Mhm.
Well, good. Well, everybody's saying Happy Mother's Day, sending love to you. That's very kind. A lot of them saying things like, thank goodness for your mom and dad for their help, because otherwise I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. So
That's true.
thank you for everything you've done to help me get to where I am. I appreciate you guys very much, of course. And I can't wait. You're vaccinated. I get my own vaccine here soon, my second one, so then we can get together soon. So can't wait to see you guys in
We'll
person.
Go to the
again.
ocean.
Yeah.
Celebrate your birthday.
Yes, gotta celebrate. Well, thank you again for joining. I love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Sayonara.
Adios. We're going
Bye,
to watch
everybody.
ourselves on YouTube or wherever you put this.
Yeah. Well, if you go to the Facebook Messenger and click the YouTube, it'll take you right to the video, so you can watch along.
That'll be fun.
Love you
Well,
guys.
thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for having me.
We are your producer.
You're my executive producers by far. Yeah, absolutely.
All righty.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. So let's see. That's in the meeting for all with that. So I've always wanted to do that, and it just worked out that this would be a good time to do that. So thank you for sticking around to watch and enjoy. That was fun. I'm sorry the video was a little slow. I think their reception was not ideal, but we got through it. So there's a lot to show you guys today. Let's see, where should we start? Let's do this. If we go to the libraries, let's see here. You'll notice there's some Serum libraries coming soon. They're not quite ready. Chromaphone has been unified. And if you're not familiar with this synth, this is from Applied Acoustic Systems Solutions. And it is a really interesting synth. It's physical model based, which means it's using a very different form of synthesis from FM synthesis like the DX or subtractive synthesis. It's actually using resonators, which are filters that have special types of feedback that can be tuned as you're playing up and down the keyboard. Delayed times are actually changing in real time to change the sound you're hearing. And let's go over here. And if I just go to this one right here, why am I not hearing this? Green synth. I'm not changing anything in the sounds. The noise I should be hearing all sorts. Let's try another patch. Maybe we'll start from scratch. Just yeah. Let's just find a patch to play. Go to the editor for this. To the synth. So now we have something happening. So you can see you have different types of algorithms that are calling up different types of filters and different values. To get all sorts of interesting stuff you haven't heard in synthesis from, you can't do, what we're hearing is something you can't, even from FM it'd be really hard. And this actually has two resonators so you can feed. So you can hear all sorts of cool, different types of sounds coming from that form of synthesis. And so the library goes all over the place, and it's all sorts of stuff that I assure you, in a lot of cases, you haven't heard something like this before. It can be used for unique sounds. For guitars, it's especially good for that. Takes a minute to load these. They're not. It is heavy on synthesis. This is where your computer will start to sweat some with some of these, but the sounds are really cool. Even keyboard sounds and so forth are very unique. The website for these guys, let's see, let's do this. Is right here, appliedacoustics.com. Chromophone 3 is the name of this. It's available. They've got all sorts of demos. They can talk about what's going on with the views. It does have some simplified views. Instead of jumping just into the editor, you can access things here to change the sound so you can hear what's going on. And these can change. really excels at those pure harmonic acoustic overtone kind of sounds. And then what's fun with Unify, of course, you can go to any other patch, right click and say load this into Unify as a new layer, and now we have 2 Chromaphone 3 patches. Any patch you see, you can immediately load into Unify. So we can go to guitars, and let's go to ephemerides, and the names are very cool in some of these patches too, which is cool. And since each one's on its own processor core, we now have 3 processors that are sweating like crazy. But it still plays. So it's a wonderful synth. If you need that other sound, this is really great for a lead with some more traditional sounds. Doing that will make that sound really pop out, have unique personality. Right? So all 421 patches are available in Unify format. Of course, you need to own Chromaphone for these patches to be of use to you. You hear all sorts of unique stuff. And if you go to the standard library and add something to this that's more traditional, let's say let's go to the strings and add something like, let's do maybe something more dreamy. Let's do this. This is the ensemble. So let's load this into Unify. This is more string samples. You can get really cool alternate hybrids by combining real with this. Right? So it has all sorts of cool places to be used both as a star or to be combined to kind of do the alternate other. By the way, I think it's an old show, but I don't know if you guys have seen Mr. Robot. The score to that is just unbelievable. It is so great. And the storyline has been really interesting too. So if you want a new show to watch and you haven't seen it, check out Mr. Robot. It's on Amazon, I believe. So Chromaphone 3, let me get you the link to that. I'll put that into the chat. And I should probably put that into our discussion too, but it's a very, very cool form of synthesis to get into physical modeling. And they are one of the premier companies behind it. Let me do this, more information. I'm gonna put this into the chat. More information on, or to buy Chromaphone 3 if you don't have it and you want to get something that gets you into these new kinds of sounds. Yeah. Shane's explaining a little bit about. Yeah, Plasmonic is kind of a hybrid of physical modeling with kind of analog synthesis filters and a little bit more geared towards kind of a hybrid of using parts of physical modeling. Chromaphone is purely physical modeling based. So if we were to go over here, go to the library. I don't know if they have an init patch. If there's a fast way to, I haven't played with this a lot lately. Let's see. There's no reset. You can see there's a lot here. Yeah, I always wish all synths would have an easy way to get an init right in front of you, right? And I don't see a fast way to initialize. Because then you can kind of like play with something and not have like so many layers and modulation and other things going on that are affecting the sounds. There are forms of sounds here that go other places as well. As you can see, there's two sounds. The noises, the modes. So you hear that plucky characteristic. It can get very interesting. And then if you shorten this, then it becomes, all those harmonics become like the overtones in metallic things when you hit them. So that can be one layer, and then go to the other layer. You combine the two. Go to the effects, which are separate per each of the two layers, which is really nice. You know, all sorts of fun places to play. So if you're looking for new sounds, you're working on something where you want something that it's, I don't need the FM synthesis vibe, because that's really easy to register and go, oh, that's FM synthesis. Analog has its thing. Physical modeling is a whole different planet of sounds. And so getting it, having it in Unify format just means you can easily call up one of these and then start combining it with the other sounds that you have. And you will hear sounds from this that are very, like, you haven't heard stuff before. Right? It's very cool. So check it out. Now, the guys at Applied Acoustics, AAS, just released, we haven't unified this yet. We've been given permission to unify it. So it will be coming, and that is the CV1 modular synth. So if we go CV1 right here, multiphonics, this is the Applied Acoustics take on modular synthesis. And it's really interesting because you saw the object with all the different types of things available. Those are available as modules in their modular synth. So this is a modular synth that breaks out of just doing the traditional subtractive synthesis elements and so forth, and gives you things. They got the classic VTO, but they also have object, and they also have other things in here. Tons of patches over here. One thing I really appreciate is the amount of descriptive information. Under view, you can change the view for the cables all the way down to hidden, or to just be like half there. So you don't have to see. But it's modular, but it's not like a modular that you've heard before, because having access to these types of harmonics and synthesis and the filtering and so forth, it's going to get you into a whole trouble. Whole different sets of sound. Again, more like sounds that you can't pinpoint where it's coming from. It's got that modular vibe to it. And it is synced, so if we were to go to Cloud City and add a groove, let's limit this to the top half of the keyboard. Then let's go to Chromaphone and find some sort of like a BPM thing for the left hand. Or just cool bass. Let's get a bass. Here we go. Lunar bass, let's add that. That's 2 Chromaphone basses and 1 of the CV1 modular. And then go over here to the standard library. Let's go to BPM bass. Hold down Option and transpose this up an octave. And there's a shortcut. Remember, if you hold down, I think it's Control and Shift and click this. Nope. Control and Option and click this. And it's going to go from a unified layer that has, see how I have Guru Sampler in this layer? By holding down Control and Option and clicking the bullet, it's going to pop that one layer of the embedded out of the embedded and make it just a layer so I don't have to surf around. So see how this says Chromaphone? I just need that layer. I'm not really using the auxiliary bus. The master effects are actually bypassed. So if I hold down Control and Option and click this Unify right here, boom, now it's just going to be Chromaphone. So now I just have to double click. Let's have this filter down some, and then let's bring the filter cutoff up. And we can say custom shape. Go to presets, let's have to assign. And this envelope is so unbelievably fast, this LFO shape. I mean, we immediately have like our own little bad Mr. Robot film score piece, right? So it's fun. There's a lot of power in these. I should point out these CV1 is just released. So they still have their introductory sale. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I wanted. CV1. Right here. Its introductory sale is $79 for the CV1 modular synth. Its normal retail is $99. So if you want to play with something unique, lots of fun, some great patches, lots there to play with. So check that out. So let me see what's going on in the chat. I haven't checked back to the chat in a little while. It's a dual 6-core CPU that I'm running for this, but you know, it's considering I'm streaming a high-def live stream video and it's still playing this and not pooping out with this much processing going on. It's pretty impressive. All right, so highly recommended to look into those. There's demos available for you to download from those sites. Oh, let me get you the link. I forgot to get you the link. The link for CV1 that we're covering here is right here. So check that out. I want to point out we still have Tim Dale's amazing Saber-fi library available. A lot of you guys were talking earlier about how cool this library is. It has a lot of really great, creative, fun things. Yeah. Thank you for sustaining forever. This little momentary things. That's what it's supposed to do. It was doing something differently there to start with. The other thing that's cool to note about this is that there's a whole lot of stuff on the mod knobs, the macro knobs. Yeah, so all these to play with, lots of fun things. Definitely not. What's interesting is notice that this is 6 layers, and because of how optimized Unify is, and the synthesis is far simpler than what you get with what's going on in the physical modeling sense and stuff. This is just yawning. How is this to sync? It's great. Ivar, you should get Unify. Then you can find out for yourself. All right, so this library, 255 patches, 250. Yep, 250 patches. All sorts of fun, creative ideas for your unification. Moving the mod wheel, it's like, what happened? right? So lots of fun. Cool. Do my parents use Unify? I think I sent it to my mom. I don't think so. She teaches still on traditional piano and electronic electron organs. Okay. Someday Ivar will be a customer. That'd be nice. All right. So let's look over here. I want to, what else should we point out? Maybe we should do a little programming from scratch. Haven't done that in a while. I have a question to ask you guys too. I'm working on, we do not have the technology for speeding up and slowing down samples. So I have a series of guitar phrases that are wonderful. And I'm considering making a library of phrases across the keyboard that are all the same tempo of guitar. It's like moody guitar for chill guitar and stuff like that. Would you guys be interested in something like that? I haven't done phrase-based libraries before for Unify per se. And I'm just curious, the idea would be that there'd be the same phrases in 4 or 5 different tempos so that you could have, and you know, there's some really cool things I think we can do with that. As far as even just one across the keyboard with a groove that's playing a certain groove, and then you can play on the keyboard and improvise with it. I just didn't know, would you guys be interested in something like that? No tango, no flamingo. This is chill, like electric acoustic guitars. They're really, really nice phrases. Here, I can even show you some of these. I've been working on this. Let's see. How would I show this pretty easily? Let's try this. I'm gonna go over here. Give my computer a second to figure this one out. This will be interesting. I haven't bounced them out as audio yet. What I'm doing is I'm using the tools in Logic to align all of them to the same tempo and then adjusting them so that they are playing in sync, and then I can spit them out. My Logic's, oh, hello, come back. I think this computer is being pushed really hard right now. Here, let's do this. Let's go init. So let's initialize for a second so that we can free up some CPU cycles, because my computer's like going, So over here to here to here. And I'm just going to select some of these. There's so many of these. 1, 2, 3. I think there's going to be maybe 50 or more. Add. So here, I'll show you these in Logic, what I'm working on. Kind of work in development things, right? So if we go over here and go like this, I got to hit my little solo button here and then solo this. And so let's say 65 beats per minute. Isn't that nice? So these would be in Unify that you could jam with them, work with them for writing songs, have them come out, come in, so forth. Here's another one. Oh, wait. You unsolo. So in Logic, we can speed up and slow down. Like if I was to go to Unify, it'd be 85 beats per minute with some sort of cool groove. Layer them and do fun things with them, I think. you guys think? Would you be interested in a library of moody guitar loops in Unify that you could jam with? Would something like that be like is not so natural sound? No, it's electric guitar, and they are processed in a certain way. I have someone that I've worked with for many years. Oh, let's see here. I have yet to release a library from, he sends me libraries he's working on. It would be that we could have them at like, I'll spit them out and there'll be a map of them at like 65 beats per minute so that you could play. But we can also spit the same thing out at 125 beats per minute and it's still. It still works. Here's all of them together. Here's okay, so that's something I've been working on for a little bit that will be coming out. Why not unify Mega Magic guitars? We can do that. That's not that difficult to do. But that's different than getting phrases of a real guitar player playing. So this is a whole different kind of direction to go in. But yeah, we can look at unifying Mega Magic guitars. That is definitely on the list to do in the coming months. I also want to show you that I'm also working on Noisebox, which is getting close to coming out. This is a library. We have new artwork that's really cool. This is a drum library I did in 2003. Main thing to do now is I want to do some more cool, new, actual different grooves. I was thinking of getting you guys involved in this. We'll see. I'm still thinking about how that would work to get you a handful of things, because these can be all mapped together, right? So here's the full mix. If I was instead to say, load up the loops and load each one of these up as a new unified layer. Let's choose that one, loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. Here's the snare. Here's a tambourine. And then the hat and kick, right? So these are all the elements that you find in A. Now they're separated so that I could go through each one of these and do my little control option click so that you can see the layers. There's a MIDI box for each one, so you could reprogram the MIDI data in each one of these to be whatever you want, and then program the Guru sampler to be filtered, distorted, all sorts of stuff. I might get a couple of these for you guys to play with. I'd be curious to see if that would be of interest to you all, because it's very fun. It takes a little, maybe like a groove competition, put some credits and like give you guys credit to the libraries for contributing. Cool library. I love this library. A friend of mine, Phil Block, played the acoustic drums back in the day. So if you go to the loops, I could turn off transpose and samples, and then I could go somewhere else. Split. BPM pads, these would be fun. So they all work together because they're all tempo locked. Can't wait for this library to come out. So Noisebox is also in the works. There's other things in the works that I'm not ready to show this much of yet that we're working on, but this is definitely a library not too far away from showing up at the doorstep. The concept for this library, by the way, just to cover it quickly, is that you have 3 main grooves. You have A, main groove, and then B and C are smaller, and C. And then you have all of the elements that were used to make that. So you have the different noises. Each of these I made with my Nord lead, my Access virus, all sorts of software synths. And then if you layer these guys up, you have those elements that went into making the A groove. Right? So it's pretty cool how it came out. Took a lot of work to do it. Secret agent. Some of these loops were like, I've heard these in so many films and spy films. The entire, there's a video game series, I can't remember the name of it, but the first video game was entirely Noisebox for the score. It's all they used. These are using, this is a Native Instruments Reactor. Before Reactor was Dynamo. I don't know if you guys remember Dynamo. But I use that to program up all sorts of cool. So if you adjust these 4 loops, then you can program stuff over the top of it. And it's tempo locked, so you can go over here and say 70 beats per minute. And because everything has been recycled, it works. And also what's fun of this is now I could go to something from some other library, like VRAM kick and VRAM snare, which is a whole different groove. So you have all these guys to play with in unique ways. So that's in the works. Let's see. Are there any questions you guys have? This came out before Stylus RMX. So I think at this point in 2003, it was maybe Stylus was out. Maybe. This is in the days when Eric was still making sample CDs. This is when he had done Distorted Reality, so forth. So this is maybe some of the Stylus RMX grooves were influenced by this. I don't know, but it's all good. It's all going from here to there. But this came out before Stylus RMX, this library. Can you stop the streaming and get right on finishing this library? Are there any plans to do a Vital Bank? Yes. We actually have a whole lot of Vital patches done. I'm working with Saif. We're making a combination of Vital and Unify. That's going to be super, super fun. Very, very fun. My monitoring, yes, is in Logic. Any idea what music or patch match with the children's choir? I actually recently just saw a library available somewhere for children's choir. You had something else to show from, oh yes. Thank you for reminding me. In fact, that and the children's choir thing. So let's get to the last thing to show you. This is a library for Contact 5, Contact 6. Let me find. Here's the link to it. Kyrie Sounds Abstract Mallets. Let me put this into the chat. They save $100. This is one of these insane deals at audio plugin deals. But they have mallets and vibes, both marimba and vibraphone libraries. They're really, really nice. Really nice. and unique. Let's do this. I'll play it from Logic instead of, I've got Unify running, but let's go over here to Logic. Get this instrument with key map up so you guys can see the keys, and change this to be contact 5, native instruments, contact. I'll load up contact 6. They were made for contact 5, so they will work in contact 5 and contact 6. Actually, I don't think I need show MIDI to show up because I think contact has its little keyboard in it. Let's go here to the Finder. I have the patches all ready to show you guys. Here, go away keyboard. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Let's see here. So we don't need to see that right now. Simplify this. Your voice is doubled. Is Logic monitoring on? Let's see. Is that better? I don't know. I don't have anything else running with audio. If it's doubled, I can loop back. Check to see if maybe there's something here going on. Universal audio is off. You should just hear my voice. Hopefully that's it. Are you hearing doubling still? Is there doubling going on? So let me show you this. I'll just keep going focused. It started when you were demoing the guitar stuff. Oh. Okay, let me look real quick at Logic to see. I mean, there's no other streaming thing going on, so let's just get rid of all these tracks. It's just me and live. 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2. There's no doubling there. Huh. I can't hear it here. So this is one of those frustrating things where if I turn that off, then I don't hear myself. But does that get rid of the doubling? No, that shouldn't get rid of the doubling. That's just monitoring. Fixed. Oh, okay. It's weird when I can't hear the monitoring that you guys are hearing. That happens from time to time. So here is the library. This is there's the Budapest Abstract Marimba. Doesn't that sound great? Let's see here. They were recorded at 3 different dynamics. They're okay. It's not the most pristine recordings, but what I'm more interested in and what I think you guys will be more interested in is that here. I will open up the browser here so you can see it this way. We go like this. Let me find Kyrie. Kyrie sounds. Patches. So they have both what they call pure and abstract. And the abstract is where it gets really interesting. Yes, we want to get. This kind of stuff is really interesting. Right? Because there's all sorts of stuff going on that's cool and unique. I hear some weird tuning problems in there. Oops. You might have to fix a few things by going into here to the mapping and choosing the samples and fixing the tuning. With these kind of sounds I thought were really interesting. I need to get this into Unified, don't I? So I can layer. I want to start layering with the things, but so there's marimba, there's vibes, and they do these gotchas sometimes where they will soft stick. Yep. Again, if you're going for like the ultimate recordings of vibes and stuff, this is not it. It's very uneven. But when you get to the abstract stuff, that kind of doesn't matter. It's when you, again, there's an abstract folder which gets into all sorts of cool new sounds that I thought were interesting. These are two instruments that are unexplored that I think you could do a lot more with, sampling wise. And again, layering this with Chromaphone would be really, really cool. Taking the acoustic sample plus the physical model representations or alternative kind of cool things, but you can find some really cool, unique sounds in there. So for $29, it's a really no-brainer. On top of that, they bamboozled me for the Polyscapes for like $10, which actually turns out to be really interesting because it's a lot of really interesting texture pads. If you get to the pads and soundscapes, this is where there's up to 4 layers playing. Of really interesting stuff. Again, their tuning's a little funky, but if you're doing a film score, you don't care sometimes, right? Just that, let it sustain and build over the top of it. So there's some really cool things to look at from this. I haven't heard of Kyrie before, so good stuff. It's interesting companies have to do this, like massive discounting in order to get attention brought to them, but it works. It does get somebody that I've never heard of these guys before, and I would recommend them for anybody that needs new, interesting sounds. Like, you don't have enough interesting sounds already, right? There's so many out there to find sounds, but this is on the tip of unique, I think, so. And sounds great. Really, really nice stuff. So check them out if you need something of these natures. There's only a couple days left on the sale. I did see other websites are selling the Budapest marimba and the Budapest vibes at discounted rates. So I think that you can, even if you miss the 3-day sale, you can still find this somewhere. So I would say look for them. I don't see any problem with adding these to what you already have. Cool. Okay. Well, this has been fun. It's fun to have too many. You know what's fun? If you want for a song or for a whole project, limit yourself. Say you have, like, you know, right now my list of plugins is just crazy, but just give yourself 5 of those or 3 of those to work with and say, just have to use a few of these, use these particular libraries. That's the way that you get yourself to have kind of a signature album sound sometimes, is don't give yourself access to everything. Just pick out a few things that you're interested in. I started this website because I wanted to learn FM8. I wanted to explore FM8 and make a library for it. So taking that to music, you can do the same thing. I want to explore this plugin. I want to do this. I think this is a cool, get Chromaphone 3 and just use that. And maybe Omnisphere or something like that that can do all sorts of cool stuff. But give yourself just a couple tools to work with, and you'll be surprised what happens with your creativity, okay? So link to the library. I think I popped it in here. Let me pop it in here again. If I didn't, let's see, bookmarks, favorites. Here is the 3 days, 9 hours and 33 minutes and 39 seconds left to get the deal on the abstract marimbas and Kyrie sounds. Okay, so there you go. Yes, anytime you can like cut your roll down a little bit, it's great to have everything. If Johnny could stop making libraries for this sake. Yeah, no, this is what we do for a living. And so, don't come to our website, for a while. We're blessed. We're blessed to get to do this and to, come along on the adventure with us. It doesn't hurt too much, I promise. And it gives you a lot of stuff. But one thing I want to make sure I also get to you guys that I'm so glad my mom and dad were here, but don't forget to practice and think on musical terms as well as like buying these new libraries, right? You've added to your sound palette. So now you should spend some time with music to teach and learn into your music creation palette for your brain. You need that too. So don't forget, the knowledge for your head is not something you can do by just buying a library, right? So don't forget that. It's very important. Feed your musical energy. I need to do that myself. So I'm kind of saying this just so I say it for myself because I need to do that too. We all need to do that. So, all right. Well, happy Mother's Day to everybody's mothers, to any mothers watching. If you have kids, Yamaha Music School is a wonderful way to get them fired up with music if they're very young. Highly recommended. Thank you for joining. Let's do our shout outs from wherever you are in the world. Shout out from Portland, Oregon. And it's trying to be sunny out there, I think. So that's nice. Let's see, what else is there in here? Keys and vintage stuff. Jump brass. It's the same library that has that. As that. Interesting. Well, the engine can play it. Robo Choir. Wow. So all sorts of stuff in this library beyond, let's see, what? Soria Fields? Wow, lots of film-esque cinematic or cool chill sounds in this library for sure. Good stuff. So yeah, worth pursuing. This is when you buy the when you get the Budapest bundle, if you do it from the VST website, the deal website I gave you the link to, they're gonna pop up a thing saying, "Hey, do you want to add this for?" And I think they'll offer this to you. If they don't, they don't. But they did to me, and I said yes. So we got Poland, Illinois, Vancouver, Canada, worldwide, Milwaukee, Shout out from Buy Saber-fi Wales, UK. Tim, the consummate salesman. That's awesome. Already bought it, Florida. You guys are great. This one, full contact. $29 libraries that they can sell for $29. You have to have the full version of Contact. I recommend everybody gets the full version of Contact because it is so powerful and can do such really interesting things, sample manipulating wise. All the libraries from ADO, myself, I don't do anything for the Contact player, anything like that. So you need to have the full version. I highly recommend it. Please, Chill Science. Hey, nice to see you. Chill. Cool. Well, thanks again. I think we have 1 or 2 more live streams. Yeah, we have 2 more live streams, and then I will be off for, I think, 2 live streams, maybe 3. Yeah, wait for the Contact sales. They do happen all the time. End of the year, Black Friday, summer, I believe is also a sale. I'm going to be in Mexico. I'm going to Mexico for a couple weeks to work on a couple different libraries in San Miguel de Allende. So I can't wait. That'll be very fun. I don't know if I can live stream from Mexico or not. We will wait and see. Maybe I can just to pop up and talk to you guys for a bit. But shout outs from wherever you are. Send flowers. Say thank you to your mamas for help. You wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in this room together if it wasn't for all of our mothers, right? So, and our dads. But that comes in June. So happy Mother's Day to all. And cheers. We'll see you later. Oh, I didn't even have it centered right. Okay. Take care.